Welcome to a special episode of Icon's Let's Talk podcast. Join our CEO, Jerry, and legal negotiations manager, Anna, as they unravel the remarkable story of Anna's journey and the incredible impact of Guatemalan talent. It's a conversation you won't want to miss. Let's jump right in.
Hey, Anna.
Hi, Jerry.
How you doing?
Doing great. What about you?
I'm doing awesome. So I'm sure that you heard about these conversations already. I already did one with Alex, and let's just have a chat. Let's talk just about your experience within Icon. You were one of the first ones, and actually, right now you are one of the original ones. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the difficulty to get here, and the people that are going to hear this are both in the U.S. I mean, we have a lot of candidates in Guatemala that I would like him to hear about, the successes of people at Icon. But it'll go to the U.S. as well, and the U.S. can hear the quality of people that we have there. What do you think?
Well, that's great. I always welcome an opportunity to just show off a little bit of my tenure. You know how it is.
Show off. Of course, show off. Oh, boy. So, you're the very first legal negotiator where everybody used to say that will never happen, and yet here you are. Thanks to Greenway for letting us, for believing in you. But what do you think?
Well, it has definitely been a challenge. I have had to learn a lot of things. It has not been easy, but I feel very grateful that I have been given the opportunity of learning and developing myself with an amazing team that is always willing to help me and teach me, even to this day, with all of the experience that I've accumulated because I've been working this for a couple of years now. There's still some things that I probably need a
couple
little
of years. I think it's like 4 already, isn't it?
Yes. I was trying to be modest.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really
that's okay, you don't have to be modest.
That's not really my style, though.
Right. That's why I called you out. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a great experience. Like you said, it's been 4 years that I've been a legal negotiator, and I have been able to work alongside so many people that is just great at what they do, and that have been able to teach me a lot. And now I'm able to pass on that knowledge to other people that make up my team, and they are experts at doing negotiations and handling different terms and, a lot of different situations that, honestly, if you would have asked me a couple of years ago if I really thought we were going to get to this point, I would have doubted a little bit. But I think that...
I never doubted, Dana. Never doubted I never doubted the people that we had. I think it was just a matter of getting the right people, but we had some great talent, and I saw it. Greenway actually saw it too. Greenway was happy to give the opportunity and see what happened, and he was seeing it.
Yes, I think that John has always believed in the talent that we have, and he has always been our biggest cheerleader and our biggest supporter, and I really appreciate the fact that he has taken so much of his time and everything to guide us, and all of everything that he has done for me and my team.
Yeah, he does that a lot. How about it wasn't easy to get here, right? I mean, we're talking about the talent. The talent is there, but do you remember getting completely shut down by a company before, I think it was Solstice, and then kind of rebirthing the whole negotiations department in a different situation, in a different. Remember that rough time that we went through?
Oh, yes, for sure. I remember when I was the first negotiator that was hired by Alleviate here in Guatemala, and just being me in a little office all by myself. I still have a picture of that. Just me, like, looking out the window.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I really, at that point, I was a little bit nervous because I was like, is this really gonna grow? Like, you have those thoughts. And I think that in that moment, my mindset was just like, okay, let's make the most of this, because in the end, it's gonna depend on the work that I do, whether we're gonna be able to grow, not just Alleviate but Icon as well. It's going to depend on the work that I do and the work that the effort that I put into all of this. Because in the end, like, you have to think about, when I started, it was just 8 people. That was it. It was a very small office, and everybody was doing different things, and it was just very, you had to be very self-motivated and, like, think
Yeah.
about the ultimate goal. And
Yeah.
now I see Icon that has, like, so many employees, and I just feel very, very happy and proud of myself and of the team that we have built, because in the end, this is, what I came here to do.
Yeah. So I wanna go back to the self motivated. You mentioned something. You mentioned it a second ago. Self motivated. That is one of the reasons why Icon has grown so much. The way the Guatemalan talent works, they are all very driven and they have their own motivations for it. And I think that's a great thing. There's some things that we have to adjust, and as you have already seen, when new people come in, they're not fully trusting that we have their best interest in mind, and we want them to grow and we want them to be very competitive. And I think sometimes you have to show them that we do have their best interest in mind, and we want the company to do well. And in order for the company to do well, they have to do well. But that motivation is something that I've seen in Guatemala play out really well. Again, there's a cultural, process or a cultural change that we need to do sometimes with the people that come in from other call centers and they have not experienced Icon yet. But then once they do, I feel like it's they just take off and they're self motivated, and they know that we're not, that all we're doing is trying to show the U.S. that our agents are better than anything in the U.S. Now, maybe I should clean that up a little bit, because the idea is not to compete and beat the U.S. only, but the collaboration is always great. We are at a disadvantage, and the level of collaboration that we have with the U.S. it's a big deal. We have learned from the U.S. And we have grown with the U.S. teams that we have now. That when you started in your current position, it was just a tiny company, and the U.S. I mean the Guatemalan team continues to show that they're gonna be extremely competitive all the way to the top. So I mean, I share with you messages. They're continuing to look for different places to or different positions to hire for in at Icon, and that's because of the great job that everybody at Icon has done so far. We're still improving. There's a lot of things to improve, and we're going to continue to improve. But so far, I think it's been great. So, congratulations on your team and everything that you've done so far, Anna.
Thank you. It has been 5 wonderful years at Icon. It hasn't been
5.
easy. It's 5 years, yeah.
Is
It's
it gonna continue to grow? Is it gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8?
I hope so. I'll stay here until you say I can't put up with you anymore, Anna.
Well, remember that I'm not your favorite boss, so it's
Oh, you're
anyway.
not. You're not.
Remember?
Yeah. Of course. Okay, so let me rephrase that. I'll be here until he says that he doesn't want me here anymore.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
it doesn't.
Well,
it
tell
doesn't
me.
matter if you want me here or not. It's just about.
Well, that's kind of a okay. So that piece of the conversation kind of shows the U.S. how motivated you are and how you have been, kind of not racing, but you have risen to the position that you are just through excellence on the way that you work. Now, how has it changed your life? Because I want also, hopefully we can get this to people or agents in Guatemala that are kind of on the fence about going to Icon and just your personal experience. Don't sell it. Just tell me how this has benefit you, this relationship with Icon and this ability to grow with Icon.
Well, to start, I would like to point out that Icon has been a huge blessing for me and my family, because through being able to earn a lot of money and basically knowing that the more I work and like the more efficient I am at what I do, the more money I'm able to get. That really motivates me because I'm money driven. Like if you tell me if you do this, you're going to make this amount of money, but if you do a little bit more, you're going to make a lot more money. I'll go for a lot more money. And that has really helped me make a lot of good money here at Icon. I'm not going to lie, I've made really good money here. And that has completely changed my life. My husband and I was just talking about this the other day. Because when I started working at Icon, he and I were just starting to date. And we were just thinking back about, like how we were a little tight on money. And now it's not like that at all. And, like I've been able to continue making my house payment. I was able to get my new car. I've been able to make sure that I help a lot of different organizations. And one of my favorite things is to be able to help cats and dogs that are, stray cats and stray dogs. And because of the work and the income that I have, I've been able to sponsor and help a lot. So that's very important to me. That's something that is very close to my heart. And I know that I would not be able to do that if I did not have the income that I have right now.
Anna, in average, it's not like we're paying a lot of money as a whole, right? We're paying within what the market is paying, a little higher than what the market is paying. But what I notice is all the top agents tell me I am doing amazing compared to other places that I've worked before. But the top agents, the ones that really push, are the ones that are really, really, how can I say it? Blowing up, really doing well, being able to afford to buy a house, a car, and really doing well for their families. And then they continue to push, just like you said. Right now they're driven, so they continue to push because they, just a little bit better. I get a little bit better, and I make a little bit more money. So that's something that I heard on the past as well, and it's great to hear. Apart from that, Anna, I just want to ask you, because I heard it from other places, not other places, other employees, that the culture, the way we treat employees is different.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
Yes, for sure. 100,000% yes. And this is something that I have told you in the past. I remember when it was, it was like 8 people or 10 people, and you would be able to, we still can. We can still reach out to you and just like ask you for guidance and advice, and that's amazing. But that has always been there, because I remember when it was just like a couple of us that we would need something and we would be able to just pick up the phone and call you. Now I try to text you before just so that I'm not intruding
it's a little
that
crazy.
much. But if it's urgent,
Yeah.
I will definitely start calling. But I think that really makes a difference. It starts all the way to the top, because in the end, if leadership keeps an open door policy and is just willing to help and willing to make to help you grow, as a person, as a leader, as an employee, then you're a lot more motivated to be there.
Do you think the leadership is also picking up the same habits and trying to be available, or the same style, right, of leadership, trying to be available, trying to, just help them and help and mentor as much as possible? Do you think the leadership in general at Icon is picking up the same habits?
Oh, for sure. And that raises the bar, for growing leaders, I call them, because we're not just developing bosses and supervisors. We're developing leaders and people that all of our agents are comfortable reaching out to. And something that really helps is the fact that, when we come to the office to sign and, to turn in paperwork and stuff like that, all of us talk to the agent, and then that really creates that culture of, like, oh, that's one of the managers, that's one of the leads, that's one of the supervisors. But, in the end, we all have that culture that was implanted in us all the way from the early days, and that has definitely replicated itself.
Well, we can always improve, like you said, right? Like growing leaders. And I one thing that I noticed last time that I was there is I noticed some of the leadership kind of skipping the line when they came in for signing. And everybody has families to get to. Everybody has family to, they have their Saturday kind of planned out, and they come in for signing. And then I saw a couple of people kind of trying to skip the line. And I was, I took the opportunity to kind of, it's kind of like, it was kind of like a lesson, right? Let me talk to them. Let me tell them why that's not okay. Everybody's time is the same. And that's kind of like something that we can continue to do and continue to grow. I don't know if you saw what I sent yesterday. I sent something that said that we all kind of trip on our way up the hill, and that happens for everybody, regardless of positions, and we have to be very mindful of that. and the the people that have the power don't necessarily are not necessarily doing the best. Sometimes they're under a lot of pressure, but it is important to treat everybody with a lot of respect and respect people's time and things like that. So hopefully people took it the right way and they understand, and if not, eventually they'll see it. But it's an ongoing thing always, Anna, and we always find opportunities to mentor others and kind of help them up that hill.
And I think that that's very important because in the end, it doesn't really feel like, oh, I'm being, scolded at, like it feels more like a mentoring and not that much of, I'm being scolded at, so I'm just going to feel bad and close up. No, like we have been able to establish like good channels of communication and know that the way that you and I communicate is probably not the way that you and other people communicate. And that's okay because we are able to adapt and you're able to adapt as well so that we can be mentored and not feel like, oh, I'm being scolded.
Hopefully. I mean, sometimes things have to just be said, and one very important thing is everything that I try to, or everything that I adjust has to do with the longevity of the work that we do. Everything, the growth and the longevity of the work that we do. So the US is going to always be very demanding. And hopefully we create these habits and these ways of, communicating and these mentorings so that before the US complains or says, I demand this or that, we are already there and we have already, learned how to be the best version of us before the US even realizes that that there has to be an adjustment or something. So we are in a good place. I think we have great reputation in the US with all the different companies and the different positions being open, new companies. I don't know if you heard about the 2 new companies that we're trying to onboard, but there's two new ones. So and then I know John wants to grow, and I know there's going to be plenty of opportunity coming from there, and it's going to be up to us to take the opportunities. So I don't know if you heard anything, but
Oh, I have. Yes, he told me about this. And like I told him, I'm super excited and I'm ready for what's next. I'm more than ready to seize the opportunity.
yeah. What do you think of what we're doing with the English? We're trying to figure out a way to improve English levels in the company, and it's a little we became very strict with the English levels now. What do you think about that?
I think that is amazing because in the end, everybody has areas of opportunity, like it could be, pace, it could be probably an accent, or it could be, whatever. And I think that it's really good that we finally have the opportunity of being able to support people and, give them the opportunity of improving and being better every day. Because in the end, it's about bettering their lives. And this is something that when I used to teach English, I would hear a lot. And it's that the more you develop a person, the more loyal that person becomes, because in the end, you're investing a lot of time, resources, and effort into that person. And people realize that and they value that as well. So I think that it's really important that we are at that point, and it's amazing that we're at that point because we're able to help agents with, like those areas of opportunity, and not because, and not just say, you know what, it's your problem. You're not there yet. Goodbye, because that's what a lot of companies do.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get there where we're gonna be able to give them that support. We're working on it still, and what we're asking for is pretty high. I received messages from people that were telling me that the English level that we were asking was ridiculous. That was not, it was unnecessary, and that it was pretty much a ridiculous request from us to have such a high level of English. And I think I have seen that people with higher level of English actually have higher capacity for earning. So they earn more. They take the best paid positions and the premium positions, the premium accounts. So even if these agents that we're trying to improve don't stay at Icon, what I've always said, like if they can make better money at somewhere else, or they can do better somewhere else, or they have a company that they like better, it's great, because for me, it's all about the growth of these people, and hopefully this works, and we're able. Well, everything that we have done so far has worked. So, I mean, I think the only position that we have struggled with is sales, but I think it's just we haven't given enough of an opportunity. But we're working on it. Hopefully we can get sales in very, very soon. There's huge interest to build another team that will do sales from Guatemala in the U.S. I'm working on that. Hopefully soon we can see that, and we can have another team that will probably grow ridiculously, because that's a huge opportunity that we have in Guatemala. And I know there's a lot of great salespeople in Guatemala. We just need to put them on the right place and give them the opportunity.
Yes. I believe that there's a lot of talent.
Yeah. So what do you? Yeah. So what do you? We're closing on 30 minutes. Is there something that you wanna say, Anna? I know you love Mr. John. Is there something? He's probably gonna hear this, and I know there's other people outside of Icon that we want them to come in, the top agents on other companies. Is there something? It's up to you how you want to close this off. But the idea was to showcase the level of people that we have, and that is you, Anna. So how do you want to close this off, or close this down?
Well, I would like to first of all thank everybody for taking the time to listen to this podcast, and hear a little bit about what we do and how we have done it in the past. I think that it's very important that we always keep in mind where we came from and what our roots are, so that we can know where we're gonna head to. It's like a tree. You have to know where the roots are, because that's the foundation of everything. And I think that we have very, very strong roots. I mean, I have seen how they have grown and developed themselves. And, like I said, I have been here for 5 years. I really hope I'm here for many, many years more. I'm not going to say a number, because I think that that's going to limit the number of years that I can be here. So I'm just going to say many, many more. And we have a great place to work. It has definitely changed my life. It has changed the way that I lead my team, because I have been, I have had different positions, like staff positions in the past, but I can honestly say that I was not really a leader. I was just like a boss. And now I can definitely say that because of the example that I have received from you, from John, and from management here as well, that I have been able to develop myself as a leader. And I think that that's exactly what we want for everybody. We want everybody to feel welcome. We want everybody to feel comfortable, to really love what they do and the company that they do it for. And that's something that I definitely have here at Icon and at GLG. I love the company that I work for, and everything that I do. So I think that I would not be able to sit here and say that if I didn't really feel it. And I would just like to invite everybody to give us a chance to demonstrate that Icon is really not your average call center. It's not your average office. It's not your average work. It's so much more than anything that you have ever experienced before.
That's awesome to hear, Anna. Thank you very much. I think you work for a great company, GLG, and I think we can never thank him enough for giving you the opportunity to grow and continuing to do that. But thank you for your time, Anna. I'm sure we'll talk. You always send me little messages here and there, so I'm sure we'll talk, later. But thank you, and thank you for all that you do, and continue to develop others, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye, Jerry.
Bye, Anna.